Having re-emerged from the unknown regions to rejoin the Imperial remnant that remained in AABY, Thrawn successfully reunited the scattered elements of the Galactic Empire. For the first time in years, Thrawn brought the Empire's Moffs, numerous independent Imperial factions and warlords, and the vast majority of Imperial resources together, creating a military confederation with Thrawn acting as its supreme commander. Although the goal was to conquer the New Republic and retake control of the galaxy, Thrawn had one major problem. He was starved of military assets and resources. Despite the successful implementation of new Imperial programs of conscription and rearmament, much of the new weapons, trained personnel, and ships were used to defend the seat of Imperial power, the planet of Orinda. This was done to allow the Moffs there to feel safe while their new Supreme Commander committed to his campaign. Undeterred by his meager fleet of only a dozen Star Destroyers, Thrawn nonetheless launched his war against the New Republic in 9 ABY, convinced that the opening stages of his campaign required only a few warships. Thrawn set out with only one goal in mind: the complete, total, and utter destruction of the rebellion. Thrawn's strategy in the opening stages of the campaign was to conduct raids against New Republic worlds located within the borderland regions of the galaxy. Officially known as the Transhydian, the Borderlands was a region of space that had split its loyalties between the Rebellion and the Empire during the Galactic Civil War. These raids were conducted with single Star Destroyers and were performed to analyze and test the reaction of the New Republic. But the war couldn't be won through simple raids, and thus Thrawn set out to alleviate his greatest problem, the lack of military resources. And the Chiss knew exactly how he was going to obtain his fleet. While Thrawn was willing to acquire capital ships through any means necessary, including the theft of New Republic warships and locating the famed Lost Katana fleet, he needed a way in which to crew his ever-expanding armada. As was done by the Republic decades earlier in the galaxy-wide conflict that led to the rise of the Empire, Thrawn sought to build an army of clones to crew his new fleet. To do so, he needed to find the location of Emperor Palpatine's hidden supply of Sparti cloning cylinders. These cloning facilities were far more advantageous for Thrawn in relation to the cloning facilities located on Kamino. While the Kaminoans could produce a fully mature clone in roughly 10 years, the Sparti cloning cylinders could produce a mature clone in only 1 year. And with the knowledge Thrawn discovered years earlier from his research on the planet Merkur regarding the Salamiri, wherein they would cut off the clone's connection to the Force, the Sparti cloning facilities could produce an adult clone in as little as 15 to 21 days. Although Thrawn had his method of building an army to crew his new fleet, none of it would come to fruition unless Thrawn located Palpatine's hidden supply of Sparti cloning cylinders. Therefore, to uncover their location, Thrawn planned to launch a raid against the extensive computer archives located on the planet of Obroa Sky. A planet within the inner rim regions of the Borderlands, Obroa Sky contained a comprehensive library of galactic information and numerous academic institutions, making its central computer system the perfect target to give Thrawn the information he needed. With the location of the Sparti cloning cylinders within his grasp, Imperial scout ships under the command of Thrawn orchestrated a raid on Obroa Sky's library. The raid was a stunning success for Thrawn and his Imperial Confederation. Not only did Thrawn now have the location of Palpatine's hidden cloning operation, which was present on the planet Wayland in the Outer Rim, but the raid also provided him with an invaluable wealth of information concerning the New Republic, its allies, and the condition of the galaxy at large. Thrawn now only had to travel to Wayland to initiate the next stage of his plan. But before they could depart for the Outer Rim, a fearsome truth became known to the Imperial forces. Their scout ships that conducted the raid on Obroa Sky had been found and pursued by the forces of the New Republic. Not long after the Imperial scout ships reconnected with Thrawn's fleet, a New Republic task force consisting of 4 assault frigates and 3 wings of X-Wing starfighters dropped out of hyperspace in attack formation. While Thrawn's second-in-command, Captain Pelion, counseled the Chiss to either retreat or summon Imperial reinforcements, he declined such passive advice. He chose instead to stay and fight, and used the opportunity to test his fleet against a larger New Republic force. By observing the opening maneuvers and pursuit line utilized by the New Republic fleet, Thrawn was confident that his enemy was being led by an Alaman commander. This was no small detail and would ultimately provide Thrawn with the advantage that he needed. He was well aware of the fact that the Alaman species was one that strove to find order in all things, and where none existed, would work to create it. From this information, Thrawn concluded that his strike against the New Republic forces necessitated an orderless, unstructured assault to prey upon his opposing commander's weakness. And in Thrawn's opinion, there was no better tactic than to utilize a Marg Sable maneuver. Therefore, Thrawn called back his defensive sentry line and brought his flagship Chimera to face the vector being pursued by the New Republic. He then brought the Star Destroyer superstructure to bear against the task force as Thrawn closed in at high speed. As the Chiss angled the Chimera's hull against the enemy's attack vector, Thrawn provided a defensive position and launch cover for his TIE fighters, ordering them to form up and execute a flanking maneuver against the New Republic's vessels while being concealed by the Chimera's hull. The highly unstructured attack worked just as Thrawn planned, as the New Republic commander was psychologically unable to respond to the orderless maneuver in any meaningful way. Unable to answer Thrawn's strike, the New Republic fell back and attempted to establish a defensive position against the Imperial forces. However, this allowed Thrawn to take the offensive and bring the fight to them. Ultimately, Thrawn wiped out and destroyed the entirety of the New Republic task force, right down to the last ship. With his pursuers destroyed, Thrawn was free to travel to Wayland and Palpatine's secret facilities within Mount Tantus. But first, to ensure that he was prepared to face what may be waiting for him on Wayland, and to assist with the production of his army of clones, Thrawn made a brief stop on the planet of Merkur. Here, Thrawn not only convinced the smuggler and information broker named Talon Card to offer aid to the Imperial fleet in whatever way he could, but the Chiss also collected a large number of Ysalamiri. Satisfied that he'd collected enough Ysalamiri, Thrawn traveled to Wayland with Captain Peleon, looking to initiate the next stage of their plan. However, when Thrawn ventured to Mount Tantus, he was confronted by an insane Force-sensitive clone of a Jedi Master who died roughly 5 years before the Clone Wars named Joruus C'baoth. C'baoth had been created by Palpatine and stationed as the guardian of the hidden Imperial facilities on Wayland. Protected by his Ysalamiri, which made Thrawn impervious to C'baoth's attacks using the Force, the Chiss made an offer to the Mad Jedi clone. If C'baoth joined his campaign against the New Republic and provided him access to the facilities within Mount Tantus, Thrawn would bring him Luke Skywalker, Leia Organa Solo, and Leia's unborn twins. Persuaded by Thrawn's offer to obtain the ability to potentially influence the minds of powerful Jedi, C'baoth pledged himself to Thrawn's campaign and provided the Chiss with access to the secrets within Mount Tantus. With the Force abilities of C'baoth, Thrawn had the ability to benefit from the clone Jedi's battle meditation powers, thereby allowing Thrawn to coordinate his attacks with incredible precision. Not only did Thrawn now have access to the Sparti cloning cylinders, but he uncovered the schematics for a prototype cloaking device that could offer his fleet a significant advantage in the coming war. Using these facilities, Thrawn began creating thousands of clones on the planet of Wayland. With the cloning operation initiated and Mount Tantus turned into an active Imperial facility, Thrawn ordered the Imperial shipyards to expand production for his newly created army. He was now ready to unleash his military campaign against the planets and shipyards of the New Republic. A series like this is a direct result of the support from our patrons. Thank you to all of the patrons of Star Wars Reading Club for making Thrawn's reemergence and war against the New Republic possible. If you'd like to support our work, please consider becoming a patron of the channel through Patreon for access to exclusive hangouts and book discussions. Thank you for watching, everyone, and as always, may the Force be with you.